Hi guys, welcome back. I decided to make an About Me tag because you've been watching my channel but you don't know a lot about me. I have an Apple Watch and I've been told that I make one of the best camp counselors because of it. I've never been a camp counselor. I'm a Colorado native, so Colorado born and raised. I love Colorado a lot. By people that don't live in the state, I've always been asked if I ride horses or hike or snowboard or ski, and I don't do any of those. I mean, sometimes I hike, but I really don't do a lot of those things. It's a cool place to live, and I would raise my children here, but I definitely won't live here forever because it's the only place I've ever lived, so I'm not gonna live here forever. But I definitely enjoy living here. I spend a lot of time at work. I work a lot. I'm a server and the weekend day manager at the restaurant I work at. So besides that, I don't really do a lot of things. I like to take my dog to the dog park. I also really like learning about technology. So learning about Premiere Pro or After Effects, I've been teaching myself a little bit. And a lot of camera gear I've been really into. So all of the DJI equipment, I've been really interested in learning about. So I just got the Osmo camera. That's the one I'm filming on right now. And I have a DJI Phantom. It's the Phantom 3 Professional. And I've been kind of learning how to fly a drone. I'm not really sure what kind of things I'm gonna be doing with that, but it's definitely been very fun learning. And so that's kind of what I like to do in my free time, is kind of be like a gearhead. I'm really into photography. I haven't been taking a lot of pictures as much as I would like to of different locations and different sceneries, but I do take a lot of pictures for my blog. I take all my own pictures and I basically just set a self timer and then go run, and I have like 3 to 10 seconds to pose. And that's how I get all of my pictures. Definitely am very into photography and would like to get into that. I've always been really passionate about kind of graphic design and learning Photoshop, so that's kind of something I've always kind of been prideful about knowing, because I worked really hard to get to know that program, and you have to fail a lot to succeed. Same with Premiere Pro and After Effects. You fail and fail and fail and watch a lot of tutorials and then keep failing. And then you learn. I really like television shows. Television shows are probably my greatest pastime. In my free time, that's all I do. With what little free time that I really have, but seriously, that's basically all I do. People go out and party, but I watch TV. One of my favorite television shows right now would be Game of Thrones. I really like the characters, I like the plot, I like how in-depth it is, and I like being a nerd about it. So one of my favorite things is, getting so into a show that you want to buy merchandise, you want to wear a t-shirt of the show, you want to buy figurines or all that kind of stuff. And so Game of Thrones definitely has that really great fandom that I love being a part of. My guilty pleasure is the Bachelor series and the Bachelorette. I love them so much. I am a big part of the Bachelor Nation for sure. I have a lot of animals. My 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment feels a lot like a zoo. I have a 6-year-old cat named Chuck. She's a calico. Contrary to popular belief, she's a girl, not a guy, even though her name is Chuck. I have an almost 2-year-old cat named Dexter, my little gray fat cat, who I call Gray all the time. And I have an almost 1-year-old Australian cattle dog and boxer mix. And he is my little baby, but he's also kind of the devil. I also watch my sister's cat, who I have for about 2 weeks right now. His name is Mowgli. We call him Demon Cat. He's the cutest little thief. All he does is scavenge for food. He's basically a robot programmed just to steal food. He'll steal the dog food, he'll steal dog treats, he'll steal my other 2 cats' treats, and he really likes things like chips you leave on the counter or bread. And so that's basically all we do all day is stop him from eating. All my pets are named after television shows or movies. Chuck is named after Charlotte Charles in Pushing Daisies, a show that was canceled way too early. I believe it only had like 1 or 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons, but it was an amazing show, and it was another one of those shows that kind of got me into the culture of television. Dexter was one of my favorite shows of all time. I have trading cards and a Dexter figurine. He even has a little trash bag that he can carry, and a little knife for his kills. My cat Dexter is named after Dexter from the show, which was one of my favorite shows, and it's still one of my favorite shows. And then there's Obi, who is kind of obviously named after Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, further proving that I am a geek. My favorite kind of music would be indie rock music. It's always been my favorite. It's sort of the evolution from that emo scene kid music that I used to listen to when I was like 13 on my headphones and my Walkman and my CD player. Indie rock has definitely evolved from that kind of era. And so that's kind of something that I've always been interested in because of the lyrical aspect for sure, and also just how beautiful it is. Indie rock has always been my jam. One of my favorite bands currently is Milo Green. I really love them because of how cinematic their music sounds. I also really like the Postal Service. The Postal Service has always been one of my favorite bands ever since Give Up came out when I was young, and we were on a road trip from California to home in Colorado. I always loved the Postal Service, and they'll always be my favorite. 2 of my other favorite bands right now would be Alabama Shakes and Hozier. They are both so amazing, so lovely. You should definitely check out their music. I also really like something that I like to call hipster hip hop. It's a genre that I kind of made up, but it's something that is so similar to indie rock music from the hip hop world, and they combine both elements that I love from it. So the beat from hip hop, and then also the lyrical or more of the mood aspect from indie rock. Put it together, you make hipster hip hop. That's one of my favorite things. So the people that would fall under that would be like Janae Aiko, or one of my favorites, which is Amir Obi. I really like writing poetry. That is something that I've always been really into, even since I was a young girl listening to Linkin Park on my headphones, or Story of the Year, and Fall Out Boy, and writing down all the lyrics and deciding that I was going to write stuff like that myself. So I've always been really into writing poetry. It was that I love you, this do you love me too kind of stuff. But it kind of evolved over the years, and I took a couple creative writing courses, and I think I'm a little bit better at writing poetry, and that it's evolved a little bit farther beyond I love you, does he love me too. I think that I've grown a lot and developed as a writer, and am able to write better poetry. I've always wanted to get into spoken word. I haven't done too much of it, but it's always been something I've been interested in. I'm currently in school for music business with a minor in film and creative writing. I originally went to school thinking I was going to be a songwriter. I was always immensely passionate about songwriting and the lyrical aspect of it. So I was thinking, hey, I'm gonna go to school for music business. And it wasn't until I minored in film and I realized my passion for television and had taken a few screenwriting courses that I realized that I really wanted to be a screenwriter. And I really wanted to delve deeply into my writing passion, since, you know, there was a lot more to music business in the songwriting process than just writing. So I wasn't very good at music. I had never played any instruments. I had never done anything musical. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And though I've learned a lot in my music business program, I knew that screenwriting was going to be something that was a good fit for me. So I'm a music business major who wants to be a screenwriter. Always an interesting conversation for sure. In high school, I was a bit of a geek. I was on newspaper. I was the editor-in-chief of the literary magazine, and I hung out with one person and one person only. And I didn't do a lot in high school. I wasn't a huge partier. I didn't get in a ton of trouble. I didn't do a lot of the things that normal high school people did my age. But I definitely don't miss high school. I'm sure that if I went back in high school, I would care a lot less about what other people thought of me, and I would have a little bit more friends, but I would probably still be in literary magazine. I'd probably still be in newspaper, because those are the things that kind of shaped me to be who I am and have shaped a lot of my interests today. I've only been out of the country to a couple different places. I've been to Mexico a few times, so different areas in Mexico for vacation. And I've also been to Switzerland, which is kind of a random thing. I went to Zurich, which was really cool. I didn't really get to experience it because we were only there for a few days, and it's such a huge time difference that I would wake up at noon every day, kind of confused why I was waking up so late. I would definitely like to travel more outside of the US as well. I've been to a lot of different places in the United States, but outside of the United States, not so much, and that's always been on my bucket list. My favorite place that I've ever traveled to, besides Disney World, because Disney World as a grown-up was the best experience that I've had in a long time and super enjoyable. My favorite place though would be New York. I went there at the beginning of the summer, kind of deciding whether or not my boyfriend and I were gonna move there, and I fell in love with it. I know there's a lot that people have to say about it, and it's an expensive place for sure if you wanna live in a decent place and in a decent part of town, but I loved everything about my New York experience, and hopefully someday you'll see me there. My favorite food is peanut butter. I can eat it on bread, so just peanut butter and bread, not even toasted, no jelly, because jelly is disgusting. So just peanut butter and bread is one of my favorite foods. Peanut butter and bananas. I can eat peanut butter straight from a spoon. My other favorite food would be steak for sure. So steak and mashed potatoes, a very hearty meal. Steak and potatoes, that is always a good thing. My favorite color is purple. I used to be the kind of person that would be like, oh no, all the colors are my favorite colors. You know, I don't really have a favorite. I was very indecisive, but no, purple is my favorite color. Any shade of purple. I like to wear a lot of purples and purpley pinks, and I also like to wear a lot of lipsticks that are purpley pink. So a lot of people will be like, did you match your lipstick to your dress today? I'm like, no, because that's stupid, and they're definitely different colors and they're different shades. And I wish that people would notice that, because it's very important that you do not match your lipstick to your dress. I have a boyfriend that I've been with for almost 5 years. He's pretty handsome. We have done so much together. We've grown so much together too. Because I guess I was about 20. It was before I was 21 when we got together. So he definitely helps me grow as a person and helps me a lot with all my different projects. And I'm very thankful for him for that. I have a twin sister. She's my fraternal twin sister. I am 1 minute older than her, but it counts. And she's literally my favorite person in the entire world. She's my best friend. We didn't used to be friends growing up. It was a little bit harder because we were trying to differentiate ourselves from each other and kind of separate ourselves and our lives and our friends, since we shared a lot of the same friends. But over the years, we became best friends, and I love her so much because she's the only person that laughs at my jokes. That's all a girl really needs in her life. My mom is also my best friend. She is also one of my most favorite people of all time. She's always been there for me. She's always been someone who's listened to me even when she doesn't care or when she doesn't want to listen to me, but she's an amazing person, and I look up to her a lot. I love her to death, and I love everything that she does for me, and I will never stop appreciating that about her. So one day, if I ever get famous, she gets her own house, she gets her own car, all of it paid for by me, and hopefully it's a mansion, and hopefully it's $1 million car, because that's what she deserves. And each of my animals will get their own mansion, their own little section of my mansion.